When I was in college, I lived in a terrible, cramped apartment that didn't have a washer or dryer. If I wanted clean clothes, I had to walk 3 blocks down the street to a 24-hour coin laundromat. Because of my class schedule and part-time job, I usually ended up doing my laundry at the worst possible time, 2 a.m. Usually, it was completely deserted. Just me, the harsh buzzing of fluorescent lights, and the hum of the washing machines. Bond. But being in there at night always gave me severe anxiety. The front of the building was made entirely of floor-to-ceiling glass windows. At night, with the bright lights on inside, it acted like a mirror. You couldn't see anything outside in the dark street, but anyone outside could see perfectly into the brightly lit laundromat. You were essentially sitting on display in a fishbowl. It was a Tuesday night, raining heavily. I was sitting in the plastic chairs at the front end, scrolling on my phone, while my clothes spun in the dryer. Benny, I don't know why, but the hairs on the back of my neck suddenly stood up. I got that undeniable feeling that I was being watched. I looked up from my phone toward the front glass doors. Down standing outside, in the pouring rain, barely illuminated by the street lamp, was a man. He was wearing a dark, soaking wet jacket. His face was pressed inches from the glass, and he was staring directly at me, completely motionless. A wave of cold panic washed over me. He wasn't walking past, he was just standing in the dark, watching me. I tried to ignore him. I looked back down at my phone, my hands shaking. 10 minutes passed. When I looked up again, he was still there, but now his hand was resting on the brass handle of the glass door. I didn't think twice. I jumped out of my chair, rushed to the front door, and grabbed the interior deadbolt. I slammed it into the locked position right as the man pulled on the handle from the outside. And the door rattled, but it held shut. I backed away, letting out a massive sigh of relief. I pulled out my phone to dial the police, but the man outside didn't look angry. Instead, a massive, unnatural smile stretched across his face. He reached into his wet jacket, pulled out a thick steel chain and a heavy padlock. Before I could process what he was doing, he wrapped the chain tightly around the exterior handles of the double doors and clicked the padlock shut. He was locking the door from the outside. I froze, completely confused. Why would he lock me in? Then, behind me, at the very back of the laundromat, I heard a loud creak. Bammed. It was the door to the employees' only utility room. I slowly turned around. The man outside wasn't trying to get in. He was the distraction. He was locking the only exit, so I couldn't escape from Doc. Whoever had been waiting in the utility room all night. A massive shadowy figure stepped out of the back room, holding a rusted metal pipe. I didn't even scream. I grabbed a heavy metal fire extinguisher off the wall, turned to the side window, and smashed the glass. With everything I had, I squeezed through the jagged hole, cutting my arms and jacket, and sprinted blindly into the rainy night, not stopping until I flagged down a passing car. Lammed. The police arrived 10 minutes later, but the chain doors were already broken open, and both men were gone. I never did my laundry at night again.